Sex addiction and sexting go hand in hand. And let's face it, we've all sexted before. And it's a way of flirting. Regardless of whether you don't think that it happens or not, it does happen. And pretty much everybody has done it. And you probably have been in a situation where people have your nudes that you really wish didn't have your fucking nudes. But reality is, it is what it is. And you know what? You're going to have to move on and move past it. But when it comes to texting and sexting a sex addict, it's a different story, because you might be in a position that day where it's fun, it's flirting, and next thing you know, you're exchanging these pictures back and forth. The next day, it might stop for you, but for the sex addict, that shit doesn't turn off. In fact, it gets worse. You have literally just opened up a box of a nightmare that is not good enough, that needs more, and it needs it nonstop. That's the reality of it. I'm a sex addict, and I know what it's like. I mean, the alert that goes off and the way that your brain clicks is, you know, it's an image picture, so you're excited and your heart rate's beating a little bit harder, and you open up the picture and, oh my God, it's a frontal nude or what have you. Oh, you're excited. Guess what? Instead of just being even grateful that you got that, now you're texting back requests of what you want. Because as a sex addict, you know what you want. You know what's going to feed what your desire is, what your cravings and what your urges are. So you're going to start sending back requests. And the more that you play into it, the more damage that you're actually doing for the sex addict. You can tell if you're texting a sex addict and if you're even sexting a sex addict when it starts getting into that way of requests for nudes or requests for videos or requests for a certain video of you doing a certain thing. That's the reality of it, and it's probably one of the most dangerous things that you can do is you're feeding this addiction, because the sex addict's going to lie to you, they're going to try and manipulate you, and they're going to try and get whatever they can from you, because sex addiction, just like I'm a cocaine and alcohol addict also in recovery, it's the same to me. Now, it might not have killed me the way that alcohol and cocaine does, but does it rule my life? Does it dominate my day? Does it take over my brain? Yes, it does. That's a reality of being a sex addict, and it is difficult. Thank God for programs like SLAW, for Sex Anonymous, for others out there that do understand, because there is help as long as you treat it as an addiction. But whether you're a man or a woman and you are sending these pictures, and next thing you know, you're getting requests for pictures and you're getting requests for nudes. I mean, I've even went to the extent of requesting people have sex with other people and record it and send it to me. That's a reality of sex addiction. That's what it is. And you know what? You might not want to hear this, but you have to hear it. Because the sex addict's going to request and do whatever he can to get what he wants. And it's not about you, it's about us. It's the selfishest act in the world. Because we don't fucking care. We care about what's going on in here and feeding this. We're not thinking with our heart at all. We're thinking with our brain. That's our addict brain of going, I need more, I need more, I need more. I mean, that's the reason that we lock ourselves into rooms. That's the reason a sex addict's going to be hooked to different porn sites. That's the reason that a sex addict, we don't get pleased. And it's trying to please something that never gets there. Just like any other addiction, that first high, you want to keep feeling that first high. And it gets more and more and more and more and more extreme. If you're living with somebody or you're in a relationship with somebody that's a sex addict, you need to know. And then you need to set up boundaries. Because if the boundaries aren't there, guess what? We're going to push the boundaries to the max. And if we're not treating what we are working through, guess what? We are the ones out there sexting people that shouldn't be sexted. We're the ones out there texting people, even the flirtatious text, that little flirt to get that little spark lit that gets us all of a sudden what we need, starting off with nudes, starting off with videos, starting off with more videos, starting off with I want this video, to feed into whatever it is that we want. And yeah, are you going to feel pretty shitty afterwards? Yeah, especially when all the lies come out of what we've told you to get what we wanted. That's the reality of it. I mean, I don't share this to freak anybody out or to go, oh my God, I sent nudes to somebody, maybe they're a sex addict. They ain't continually requesting, trust me, they're not. They're continually requesting, or they're ghosting you, or they're ignoring you because they're not getting what they want. Might be a sex addict. I know, I can smell my own. And you know what? It's one of those things that it takes a lot of losing your pride, losing your ego to be able to talk about. But that's part of what recovering about it is. And part of working through it is to actually being able to share about it. Because it puts you in that vulnerable position where you reinforce in your brain what the problems are. I can tell you this, one of the things that I let people know up front is that I am a sex addict. And I set my boundaries up front. Because if I didn't, I know how I am. And that's when you know that you're actually working through the problem and you're not just feeding this beast in your head. So just know that it is a problem. It's a challenge. Know that there's a lot of lies involved. Know that you're probably going to get hurt. Because with any addiction, an addict, we don't give a fuck who we hurt. Because it's not about anybody else. It's about fucking us. It's about us and what we want, not what you want, not what we as a couple want, or we as in a relationship want. No, it's about what I want. And that's an addict. It's the same as alcoholism in that sense. It's the same as cocaine in that sense for me. That I'm going to lie, cheat, and steal to get whatever I need to feed what I need to feed. And it doesn't just turn off, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And you almost do go through a detox phase. You go through an anger phase because you're not getting what you want. It's okay. It does get better, and you can fight through it. But just realize this, if you are talking to somebody that is an addict of that sense, be careful, because you're going to do damage to both of you, and it's going to get ugly. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, hit the like and subscribe button right down there. Down below, I have affiliate links to all the different tools on Amazon that I use for fidget spinners and fidget cubes, whatever it takes to just kind of cope through different things of anxiety that I do, or depression. I even have a link down below for BetterHelp, because I believe in trial and error to find out what works for you. And that's what it's about. It's all about trial and error. What works for me might not work for you, but it's about not giving up and finding your tools. And they're your tools, not my tools, not anyone else's tools. That's why I created a nonprofit. Driven Together, it bridges the gap between therapy and a crisis hotline, because let's face it, in between, we need tools, we need experiences, we need resources to keep fighting through every single day, because it is a fight. And that you are a BAMF. You're a badass motherfucker. You've made it through 100% of your worst days to make it through 2 today. And you know what? We got this. So click that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. I'd love to have you with me for the journey.